Welcome everybody, I am your host, Bryan, the Hype, Ballard, back with Battle of the Belts, the second edition of AEW's Weekend Specials. It's supposed to be a little bit of a Clash of the Champions, but it's a little bit more like a mini Night of Champions. So, we're going to go in tonight. We got 3 matches with 3 titles on the line, all courtesy of the folks at AEW, All Elite Wrestling. This happened on Saturday, April 16th, 2022, and it was about 1 year ago around this time. It was in Garland, Texas, and the commentators on crew were Taz, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur for the evening to take us through the festivities. Without further ado, let's get to our first match, and let's get in. And our first matchup was the champion, the TNT champion, Scorpio Sky, versus Sammy Guevara. Now you might be saying, wait, I watched Battle of the Belts 1, Bryan, and Sammy Guevara's the champion. He won it there. That is correct. He won the interim title at Battle of the Belts, and now he's going for the TNT regular title championship at the second Battle of the Belts. So, we've got Scorpio Sky out with Dan Lambert managing him, and you got Sammy Guevara with Tay Conti doing the esteemed honors of escorting her man out to the ring. Sammy Guevara joins us with a 43-26 record at this point in AEW. And Scorpio Sky comes in with a 59-16 record, even more impressive since he's joined AEW. Our referee for the evening is going to be Bryce Remberg. And this matchup gets pretty good and pretty fast, and it kept my pacing. And I don't say it definitely kept me interested. Sammy starts out, drives Sky into the corner and fires away at shots, just right. And then Sky carries him to the center of the ring and dumps him on his own and delivers the shot of his own. Sammy sends him into the corner, and he goes for 10 punches, and then he tops it off with a tasty bite to the head of Scorpio Sky. Sammy fires away in the corner, and he gives a bite of his own, and then back, there was a suplex by Sammy and some more mounted punches. Sammy getting a split reaction from the Texas crowd while they fight over a suplex. Sammy leapfrogs into Sky. Sky tries a TKO, but it's blocked. There's a drop kick and a nip up, and Sky rolls out of the ring. Sammy attacks Sky on the floor and sends him into the guardrail. This point in time, Sammy is on the guardrail, and there's a body slam right onto the floor by Sky. Sky makes it sure that he can break the count, and Sammy hits the moonsault off of the top of the ring and then onto Sky. Then rolls him onto the back. He hits the TKO upon the apron as we go to a picture-in-picture commercial time, which we don't really get to see the picture-in-picture on these replays. So at that point, I assume, Dan looks concerned at this point, but he isn't getting much camera time here as Tay is hogging it all up. So probably a good choice by the director, honestly. I think more people want to see Tay. Sky whips Sammy into the steps. Sammy goes finally into the ring to break the count, and Sky puts him in the corner to deliver more strikes. Sammy rolls back outside, and Sammy up for something, and then he gets up in another side backbreaker. Sky is talking some major junk at this point, and the crowd wants one more backbreaker. Sky complies, and with their wishes, and he stretches Sammy on his knee, and Sammy flips back and forth. But Sammy's not done yet. Sammy gets the clothesline, and then a standing Spanish fly, and he gets a 1 and a 2. So at that point, Sammy, with a kick out of the corner, heads to the top of the turnbuckle. Ethan Page emerges from the back ring, all illegal Ethan Page. He emerges from the back, pulling Sky out of the ring. Tay gives Ethan a what for, and distracting the men of the year, so Sammy can hit a shooting star press onto the floor. Back into the ring then later, Sky with a quick small package, and Sky wants that TKO. And then at that point, Sammy fights out of it though, and he hits another enziguri, and then the springboard into a modified cutter, and it gets a 1 and a 2, and he missed this cutter off of the ropes. There's a modified springboard off the ropes from the cutter. And missed it and didn't quite get all of it. The referees did a good job talking to that. But ultimately, we got Lambert up on the apron. We got Tay slaps Sky's hands off of the ropes. In the roll-up pin attempt, Sammy gets a 2. Then, all of a sudden, Tay's ready to fight everybody. She's ready to fight all of them. Dan Lambert, bring them all on. Well, he calls out Paige Van Zant. And Paige Van Zant actually comes running down and she fights Tay. Now we got a cat fight. We have a cat fight in the house. And so we get an eye poke and by Sky, a low blow by Sammy, and then the GTH. We got a new champion, TNT style, Sammy Guevara. It's about a 13-minute match there for Sammy and company. Winning the title, he's kissing Tay Conti at the ring, and then we're ready for our next match, which is a Ring of Honor match. So, the Ring of Honor Championship is on the line. We've got Jonathan Gresham talks about how he needs to be Ring of Honor champion. Dalton Castle is going to land this bitch in the river, right? And so, basically, they're talking crap at each other. And we find out, like, John Gresham was just crowned Ring of Honor champion just recently at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, and that was just 126 days ago where he beat Bandito. So he's entering the ring, the Octopus. We also get Dalton Castle, who's a former Ring of Honor champion himself. 176 days he held the title from 2017 to 2018. So we got a battle of champions for this one. So, the referee on this one is going to be Paul Turner, and we were going to get right started into the action with these two. So, we've got the Octopus. We've got the Octopus entrance, right? So at this point, we have our Octopus Gresham entrance. He comes out, and I tell you what, I like in this outfit of his, right? And I like he's an octopus because he can stretch you, right? We also get his opponent. We get Dalton Castle out there as well with the boys. Again, being a former champion himself, he knows his way around the wrestling ring. So both guys get their entrances, and then I'm going to stay and talk for a little while, but I'm going to tell you guys how this match breaks down. We end up getting Samoa Joe at the end, helping out Gresham for the win. But let's talk about how this breaks down. Bobby Cruz is here to ring announce, and then the boys are back, and then we go on, and as we're going, Castle rolls to the outside. Castle with the takedown. He takes Gresham back on the mat and gets in a gut wrench. A few gut wrenches before the suplex to Castle, and Gresham fights Castle off with a lot of leg strength. He can show those leg strengths that he's got, and he's been working out in the gym. So at this point, we get some back and forth, and the rope leads to a Rana by Gresham, a kick to the knee, and a drop kick by Gresham. And as we go picture in picture, which we don't see on the current YouTube TV media, but Gresham is kicking away as Dalton's hand then drags an arm drag. Gresham with the arm ringer takes Castle down into the wrist lock. So a lot of chain action wrestling going on here at this point between these two men. And when I looked at Gresham, I said that he most likely is going to be a chain wrestle type matcher, type wrestler. So that he's definitely got to have a chain match going on. Kind of a smaller guy, more built. He definitely is the more built of the two out of him and Dalton Castle. So at this point, speaking of Castle, he runs into an elbow in the corner, and he hits another one, and then Castle with some shots to Gresham on the mat. Castle goes for the bangarang. Gresham slides out of it. Castle runs the boot from Gresham into another bangarang, but it leads to a series of roll-ups. Castle boots Gresham. Gresham boots Castle. Castle clotheslines Gresham down. Castle misses the corner. Gresham locks in the octopus. Castle falls to the ground, and eventually he taps out. Right around the 11-minute mark, we get the tap out to the octopus. Jonathan Gresham is your winner, and you're still Ring of Honor champion. But we're not done there. At this point, there's a lot of interference with Sanjay Singh and Jay Lethal, and they all come out and they pretty much are attacking Jonathan Gresham. And who's going to come save him? Who but none other than Ring of Honor original Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Okay, so Samoa Joe makes his way in with a lead pipe, saves Gresham. They both hold up their Ring of Honor titles in pride, and they then move on to the outside. I'm going to say this was not a bad match. For me, this matchup picked out more at the end with all the chaos in the ring. So it was very storyline driven for AEW. I don't think, Dalton was a real challenge for Jonathan Gresham. I think Jonathan Gresham is going to have this title for a little while. So I don't think he was the real challenge for him. He was just more of like a chew toy that Jonathan Gresham could play with. But they got through it. Not the best match, not the worst match, but I do believe that it was more storyline building than anything like a segment. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, and real quick, I just want to say, to like, share, subscribe. You can find me on Twitter. It's at the Bryan Adkins. And then also check us out on fansofprowrestling.com. I've got my teammates over there as well, in addition to myself here at Tap Out Talk. We always appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes. So let's move on. Alright, in the main event, we've got the champion Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose, the man-beast. So, we've got, Nyla Rose in this matchup says that Thunder Rosa has made this personal. Rosa is going to whip her ass and retain the championship. Thunder Rosa comes into this match with a 53-8 record. She is the first ever this is her first ever title defense. Also defending against Nyla Rose, who has a 66-23 record, and this is her second ever AEW Women's Championship match. She was the second ever to win the Women's Championship, defeating Riho in February in 2020. Referee for this match is going to be the Honorable Aubrey Edwards, the much loved, and we get Thunder Rosa and them both making their entrances. Thunder Rosa coming up in that cowboy hat that she likes very much. Nyla tonight's missing Vicky Guerrero, but she does have the war paint on for the battle, and Nyla knocks Thunder to the floor and then sends her into the guardrail. Overhand, she chops Nyla. Nyla gets set in the ring, and then Thunder hits a bulldog on the opposite ring post. From there, she chops Thunder and sends Nyla into the guardrail, into the ring now, and Thunder goes up and top and hits and missile drop kicks for a 1 count. Some spinal taps from Thunder, sliding together, and it's only good for a 1 count. So they're kind of going back and forth here a little bit. Nyla catches Thunder, and we go into picture, so we lose it for a while, and then we pick back up with Nyla with a shot to Thunder and complete on the floor, and then Thunder fires back with a couple shots of her own. Nyla, and they're back forth. Yay, boo, yay, boo, yay, boo. This is where they're kind of starting to get the jeers and the cheers right from the crowd. So we get into a Texas Lake sweep situation. Nyla drops Thunder down for a 2 count. Nyla works on Thunder's back. They exchange punches, and then they move on. But basically, we get a stunner, and then a Thunder with a, like a corner clothesline like the Miz does, where he goes through the ropes. And then the double knees, the drop kick clothesline, then the double knees, the drop kick in the corner by Thunder Rosa. Nyla gets drop kicked on the floor, and Thunder with the baseball slide drop and sends Nyla over the floor. Thunder goes up top and hits the tornillo, which is like a twisting, it's like a twister, like a tornado, right? And she gets a crossbody out of that and rolled onto Nyla. And Thunder gets actually booted down, and Thunder gets draped on the ropes. Nyla is going for the guillotine knee drop, but she misses. Thank goodness. Thunder back up top. She gets caught by Nyla. The powerbomb is reversed into a code red by Thunder. 1 and 2. Ooh, and that's it. Not so close. And then Nyla clotheslines her twice for a 1 and a 2. Nyla with a Orange, and she goes to the middle turnbuckle. She didn't leave anything or much up left on it. And then Thunder runs into the clothesline for the 2. Vertical suplex by Nyla gets a count, and Thunder is laid out on the apron. Now, to wrap this up, we got Nyla. She goes for 2 middle turnbuckles. She misses a senton on the apron, but Thunder with a roll-up gets a 1 and a 2. Nyla with the world's strongest slam gets a 1 and a 2. Thunder with a roll-up for 2 again. This is crazy. Thunder hits Hurricane Rana and gets 3 count. 1, 2, 3. And your winner and current champion at 14 minutes, Thunder Rosa, defending her belt for the first time ever at the Battle of the Belts 2 for AEW. So, Battle of the Belts, the Night of Champions mini sideshow. Let's get our overall results and thoughts. First, Sammy Guevara defeated Scorpio Sky with the GTH. I gotta say, that matchup was, in my opinion, one of the best matchups of the night. I think Sammy performed, and he's performing at a very high level and doing the things he needs to do. So that GTH move is deadly for him too. Jonathan Gresham defeats Dalton Castle. So the octopus, the psycho Cyclops. So, Jonathan Gresham, I didn't get to see much of him in AEW because he was in Ring of Honor. This is my first, I'm just now in this last year discovering Jonathan Gresham. He looks about average. He looks about, he's got some skill. He's definitely a technical wrestler, likes to use the ropes, and that's perfectly fine. I think he was definitely outmatched, or I would say his opponent was outmatched, Dalton Castle. The guy doesn't look like he would be in a wrestling ring. I'm sure he's got a great gimmick and easy to work with, but there's more for Gresham to prove himself to the elite, right? To the top of AEW. Maybe an idea of Jay Switchblade White challenging Gresham. That might be kind of a fun match to watch. So, Octopus submission again gets it done here for Jonathan. And then final matchup, we've got Thunder Rosa defeats Nyla Rose with a Hurricane Rana. Not much to see here, guys. I mean, it was pretty much an in-and-out matchup. They went in the ring, then they went out of the ring, kind of battled it out there a little bit, and then went back into the ring and tried their moves and their holds. And then it got to a point where it almost went down the road and out of the ring, and they kind of just kept the fight going into different areas. And then at that point, we basically have, Thunder Rosa defending her first ever title against Nyla Rose. So that's everything in my results and thoughts. These are fun little quick watches. I am going to be watching all of them. I'll link these up in these videos for you guys. But I'm going to let you get out of here. Have a good evening. And remember what we say around here. We say, it's not goodbye. It's not see you later. But it's what? That's right. It's game over.